Alright, Daddy, I'm ready to mess with the generator.
You're ready to mess with it?
Yep, I'm ready to mess with the generator.
Good, because our goal today is to get this generator running. In case you missed our last video regarding the generators, I'll leave a link so you can go back and see that. But the short story is we bought this Honda EU2000i generator, brand new in the box, never used, had gasoline that was just over a year old that I had stored with Stabil in it, and I put that in the generator. Fresh oil, I had all the settings right. I pulled the cord on it multiple times. Everything I tried to do to get that thing started failed. It would not start. My hope is that by adding this stuff, PRI-G, which will restore old stale gasoline, that it will get this thing running. What do you think, little buddy?
I think it worked.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, let's give it a try, eh?
Yeah. Success! Homestead success!
I was getting a little worried there for a little bit. I was tugging and it still wasn't started. Then I let it sit for a couple minutes and tried again. I guess that was enough to get that PRI-G worked in there, and it cranked right up. This is pretty quiet, but let me put it in eco mode and see what that does. Very nice. Brings it way down. Now that I have the generator running, it's recommended that I bring it through a break-in period. That means I'm gonna run it at different loads for 15-minute intervals from a low, medium, and high load. In order to do that, I need to plug in some different equipment into that, or appliances that have different wattage requirements, and that's gonna crank up the RPMs on the motor. So for our low draw, we have the DeWalt battery charger. It's gonna be really low wattage. I'm not entirely sure how much. For my medium draw, I'm gonna use an iron set to low heat. If I had that thing at max, it would be 1700 watts, which is, I think, just a little bit beyond the capacity of the continuous rating for the generator. So I don't wanna have it on high. I'm gonna put it on low and hope for about half that wattage. And right here, I have my high wattage. This is 1500 watts, which I know that generator can handle continuously, but this is gonna be the upper limit for it. This is a stock tank water heater. We do need to let that generator run a little bit longer with no load on it, as actually the first phase of the break-in. So while we're waiting for that to finish up before we get the other stuff on it, we'll take a quick chicken intermission. The generator has been idling for just about 30 minutes now, so I am going to start putting the electronics on it and see what happens. There's virtually no change in the sound of the motor once I plugged that in, which was to be expected with such a low draw on it. Ideally, we would have something a little bit bigger to plug in there to put a little more draw on it, but I couldn't find anything else. I added a second battery pack to the generator so that there would be a little bit more load on there than if I had just had one. So this cycle with the battery packs on there has been running for about 15 minutes now, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the iron on it now. Set to low. With that done, I am going to attempt to change the oil on this thing. Because of the brand new engine, it's going to have a lot of metal pieces in the oil, and we don't want that running through it. Oh, that's not good. With that taken care of, we are out of daylight now, but tomorrow I'm gonna do the cycle again. I'm gonna repeat the whole process, change the oil again, run the gasoline that's in it dry, and then the generator will be ready for storage, and hopefully we won't need it this season. Homestead success.